Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I would talk about a line that maybe you have heard of. I believe many people have, and it is this idea of turning the other cheek. Turning the other cheek. Have you heard of this? It's found in the Bible, and there's certainly many people that will use this line, understanding it and kind of linking it with that Bible thinking too. And yet many people have not really sat to reflect on it and what does this mean? Or let's say actually many people have thought about it, and then someone will give an opinion or an idea of this is what it means, and a person who's not really reflecting on it themselves might just take it as that meaning, which we do for many things, of course. But today I thought I'd start to explain this, or not only start, hopefully shed some light on it so that you can reflect on it yourself. But I will say that let's remember that the time that these words were brought forward was at a time that the thinking of an eye for an eye was very, very common. So if someone hurts my child, I will hurt their child. If someone speaks ill of my family member, I will speak ill of their family member. If someone causes me harm, I will cause them harm, was the thinking. And interestingly, that concept was even almost allowed in various religious disciplines, that well, if that's what happened, then that's the crime, and that's the same justice would be done if the exact same thing was done to them. And a lot of reflection has happened again about these words, and some thought that it just means if someone hits you, then you just turn, and even if they hit the other side, then that's fine. And it's true, that is perhaps some way of thinking of it also, that you just take it. So then people started thinking, does that mean that, so someone hits me and I'm just supposed to be quiet and just keep on getting hit? And I thought I would read something that I came across that I think is a much better way of understanding this today. So it says, turning the other cheek doesn't mean an absence of consequences. Turning the other cheek doesn't mean we forgo boundaries. Turning the other cheek doesn't mean we refuse to walk away, stand up for ourselves, and protect ourselves. Turning the other cheek simply means we do not retaliate and seek revenge. And so very interesting, because this seems very logical when we're not actually in a situation where someone has hurt us. And this could be physical, mental, emotional, in any way. Someone hurts us, and we would want some sort of justice for that, and that's very, very common. So again, all of these things, it doesn't mean that we can't seek justice, but not as a form of retaliation. I want them to hurt because I hurt. It's because it's right that I will receive justice if this happens. This person stole from me and they now need to give this money back. So that sort of idea. I decided to reflect on this all day today, and I will say that, of course, this combines with my work, my own work for myself today, which is much meditation and mindfulness, as I also study other things. But of course, spirituality is kind of that main foundation that I focus with. So I focus, of course, with meditation and then self-reflection, capital S, self. And I came across this quote, which also really hit the spot in this same line of thinking. This one says, I tried to remember how to exhale. I had to look away before it came back to me. I tried to remember how to exhale. I had to look away before it came to me. And this is one of the things that we'll hear about this, or you might hear about this in mindfulness, that oftentimes if we're hurt somehow, someone is angry at us, or someone is very emotional around us, anything, somehow we're also thrown off. And the recommendation would be something like take a pause, take a breath. And with meditation, there's very much this focus on the breath, and yogic philosophy also focuses very much on the breath, and many will say breath is life. And I agree with all of this, because oftentimes when something shocks us, it does take our breath away. It's like, what? Right? We might be scared. We might have that, what we would call the deer in headlights experience, that almost don't even know what to say in the moment. And so that pause without reacting right away. So someone hits and you want to hit right back. Someone yells, you want to yell right back. So that's the reaction. But sometimes it's just that moment to exhale, because we're usually holding our breath at that time and exhaling, probably taking a few breaths at that time. Deep breaths is useful too. But I wanted to remind us that whatever we put attention into grows. So you can imagine if someone's taking a breath, you can't breathe more in once you've taken a full breath in. You need to let go of something to then bring in something else. So as we do this, or we're reflecting on this idea of turning the other cheek, one of the things that I'm noticing, this mind is noticing, is that media takes a lot of our attention, or takes a lot of my attention lately, apparently, as I understand what this soul's purpose is in this world and work within that purpose for each step, hopefully. And that is certainly something that I'm consciously doing, as far as I know at this time. So what I see is that this whole attention to whatever, so anything, someone might look at the financial situation that's happening, gas prices that are rising, political climates that are not so good, lots of unkind things that are happening in the world that we're hearing about much more, I think much more than before. I would say, 20, 30, maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago. I suspect people might have had, black and white TVs at that time, and maybe the news would have been on for, I don't know, half an hour in a day, and that was kind of the catch up, and it was very limited. Now we have satellite everywhere, so we can learn what's happening in the whole world, and then we breathe life into it. So if we were looking at this religiously, and we think of God breathing the breath of life into man for our life, if you look at it that way, it's the same that we do into what do we breathe life into? Because I can see something, and then how I speak about it, or the emotions that I put into it, feeds energy into that same direction. If I have fear about what I've seen, I might think about fear, I might speak about fear, I might share my own fear with another. Now I am spreading that breath of fear. And then is this turning the other cheek? Because I can flip the channel on a TV. I can change something on my computer that I don't need to see that. I will watch something more happy. I can actually look at the totality of it, that this is what's happening. There's lots of good going on too. Of course, good isn't as newsworthy. So what we would consider good, someone's been helped, someone is helpful, someone is doing something right. We don't talk about that as much or for as long, anything, but we can. And so I would recommend that we do this, and then certainly to bring it into our mind. So even if I'm taking a deep breath, that's a great experience that is. You know how good the body feels to get a full breath of air. So simple, and yet how much time do we actually appreciate this experience? Even for people who do meditation regularly, and we're breathing regularly, or yogic sort of styles, are we grateful for this body that is allowing this breath, this full breath, to be inhaled fully and then exhaled, and then appreciative to the air that is actually coming into us, and appreciative for the good energy that we're breathing in? I am actually very sensitive to collective energy. I suspect we all are, some of us consciously, some of us less consciously. And in the unconscious space, there's a lot of unease. And in that unconscious space, if we're able to see that, we can actually separate ourselves from that by bringing us back into ourselves, back into a more consciously centered, happy, optimistic, pleasant space. And then this is the energy we breathe out. And to recognize this, that whatever I carry, even if it's from the collective, unless I'm mindfully aware of what I'm carrying, I am spreading it, I'm breathing it out into the world. So I wanted to share that, and so that we can consciously breathe out into the world what we would like to. So right now here you're seeing that this rose essence is breathing its smoke towards me, and I have to tell you it smells fantastic. So thank you, senses, for being able to smell that today. I also want to make sure that you know that I love humor. Some of you know this, and I this week did not post my Friday humor. So Friday funnies are usually a time that I actually post something on LinkedIn and Facebook about something humorous. Yet I thought today I would use this video to end this video with this this great quotation that I came across. This is by Richard Peck, who is a wonderful author. And I think this would be my style of humor. So he says, this is from something he wrote, a book, I guess, and I don't know which book it's from. I'm sorry I can't quote that, but I can tell you this is what this statement says. They'd just tell you to turn the other cheek, wouldn't they? Trouble is, Mrs. Dowdel observed, after you've turned the other cheek 4 times, you run out of cheeks. I think you understand what I'm saying. Again, this turning the other cheek is not just grin and bear it. This is the fact that we can actually say something and do something about something that's not right. And we don't have to make a big deal about it. We can actually do it and actually smile about doing the thing that is right, that is good, that is helpful to ourselves and whoever we're affecting. Today, turn the other cheek in those situations where you actually feel like retaliating, because retaliation is not helping you or the other. And what is helping is to be just that one step ahead and recognize, you know what? I'm above this space of retaliation, because retaliation again goes way back to Dark Ages time of eye for an eye. Let's not go backwards. Let's move forward consciously. I wish you a fantastic day or night ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.